Ready to take to the skies? Here are 6 reasons to be excited about Microsoft Flight Simulator. Arguably the biggest surprise at E3 2019, the Microsoft Flight Simulator trailer grabbed the undivided attention of the flight sim community and put millions of other gamers in touch with their inner Amelia Earhart. An astonishingly beautiful tour through iconic cities, landmarks, and untouched wilderness. The trailer alone breathed new life into a neglected genre, while hinting at the most convincing giraffe, elephant, and flamingo simulation technology this side of Planet Zoo. We know it's on the way, so here are our 6 reasons to get hype for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Flight Simulator's big headline USP is its accurate modeling of the entire planet Earth. Just think of the possibilities. Attempt to land a Cessna on the street you grew up on, recon your next travel destination in an aerobatics plane, revisit the spot where you first professed love for a significant other, then roar off into the sunset. Or hit the eject button while weeping bitter tears of regret, depending on how it worked out for you. The world's 45,000 airports, 2 million cities and towns, and 1.5 trillion trees have been sourced from 2 petabytes of Bing Maps imagery, bolstered by procedural generation courtesy of Microsoft's Azure cloud services. Depending on how fast your internet connection is, this data can be streamed to you from the cloud in real time, or with pre-caching. A fast connection will give you incredible close-up detail, but if that proves too rich for your copper, or you're playing offline, then you'll still have the whole world, but there'll be much more reliance on procedural generation up close. Things will still look good, but they might not be as accurate. However you spin it, it's still impressive. This looks like a very, very pretty game indeed, but ask a flight simmer how powerful of a PC you typically need to fly in 4K, and they're likely to swiftly change the subject. We're a little more optimistic when it comes to MSFS. Historically, flight sims have struggled with optimization because their small, specialist development teams had no choice but to use off-the-shelf tech to render insanely longer than intended view distances and crunch complicated aerodynamic physics. In contrast, Asobo have developed a bespoke engine from scratch and have the financial and technological backing of Microsoft, who clearly want this game to appeal to fresh players as much as die-hard simmers. And what Microsoft wants, Microsoft tends to get. You'll want loads of RAM, a very capable CPU and GPU, and enough overclocking to heat your entire home for the absolute best 4K experience. But you can also expect Flight Simulator to look decently amazing on a sensible rig too. And, of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't suggest applying your upgrade fund to include brilliantly engineered flight peripherals, as well as a new rig. Links in the description and on screen. When done correctly, aviation mostly happens in the sky. And so too does the weather. Asobo have put in serious work to make their meteorological modeling second to none. MSFS boasts volumetric rain, clouds, and rainbows, and everything will be modeled dependently and procedurally. Just like in real life, you'll never see the same cloud twice, and the weather will interact with the landscape in ways that look utterly convincing. So, for example, rainbows will occur when, how, and where light scattering calculations dictate. and will be dynamically generated rather than in any way scripted. And while weather science certainly is interesting, as the saying goes, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Or, in this case, the standing and looking with your mouth wide open. Those are some handsome clouds. Whether you want to muck about with friends writing rude words in contrails, or fly Heathrow to LAX in real time according to strict instructions from air traffic control, MSFS has you covered. All real-world traffic will be visible in the game world, and there will be a couple of options for filtering this, with some of them allowing you to adjust weather conditions and time of day, and others mirroring real-world conditions at the time. To keep this running smoothly, there's a lot of clever stuff going on under whatever the aircraft equivalent of a hood is. In congested areas, visible traffic will be limited to the 50 closest aircraft, and connection issues will be dealt with by dead reckoning and AI intervention. So you won't be seeing any UFO-like behavior due to lag or disconnection. A lot of people assume that, like most things that require years of training and invasive annual medical checkups, flying an airplane is quite difficult. But that's really only true if you want to do it in real life. Simulated, consequence-free flying is a natural and relaxing experience that anyone can enjoy. Helpfully, Asobo have built in simulated pilot head movements to provide flight model interaction. Ask too much of your flying machine and it'll start fighting back, giving you little hints to back off your inputs or keep pushing if you fancy some stall recovery practice. Depending on their temperament, players will be able to learn accurate cold and dark startup procedures for each plane via a step-by-step tutorial, or spawn in with everything already set up. Your pilot seat still warm from the rump of an imaginary aeroplane butler. In short, you can learn from this game, but you absolutely do not have to. And finally, we've got the release date. Truth is, nobody knows when Microsoft Flight Simulator will be out. Alpha testing is well underway, and most chatter concerning dates, while purely speculative, concludes that sometime in autumn 2020 is the most probable. Whenever it lands, pun 100% intended, we're extremely excited for Microsoft Flight Simulator, and we think you should be too. And with that, we have arrived at our destination. Please give this video a like if you had a pleasant flight, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. Sadly, we don't offer any air miles incentives. And if you do already subscribe, ring that bell and one of our experienced cabin crew will be delighted to tell you when our next video lands.